Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Standing Bear Thunderheart, aka Bear. Now, usually I usually talk towards the public at large about anything I say regarding sports or any other subjects. But today I am addressing this one particular fella by the name of Karsten from YouTube channel of Do Live IJ of YouTube channel. And the reason I'm addressing you is because one of the key things that I remember you were saying that you want to start up a show or discussion group or regarding MMA of topics regarding anything that's MMA, whether you want to have a discussion group or an MMA or even a debate. Well, I'm coming to you because first of all, I actually really loved your shows of your MMA analysis that you put out. I think it's terrific. I really enjoy your impact and actually your feedback on a lot of these fight events and even your predictions sometimes. I'm not even much into predictions, but at least when the recaps happen, they're entertaining, they're informative, and they're insightful. And I like your style of how you do things. So that's one of the reasons why I like watching your show, and I can see why you are up there with your views and so forth. Well, now I would like to address to you, Karsten, of Do Live IJ, a YouTube channel, and I want to address this to you with the MMA topic. And one of the topics I've been wanting to address to everybody and you for quite some time to bring this up, and I know I'm going to be jumping the gun a bit, and it's going to be a heated topic, and the topic is about regarding steroids in MMA. I have been reading some articles about certain fighters, certain MMA fighters who have been caught with steroids, especially from UFC. One latest that I've known of is called Chael Sonnen. As you all remember, Chael Sonnen was fighting Anderson Silva on UFC 117 for the middleweight championship. Well, of course, I thought that, of course, Chael Sonnen was so well prepared that he gave Anderson Silva a hard time. And I gave him a lot of credit for that. I gave him a lot of credit for showing up, fighting, and giving him a hard time. And yes, I found out later on that Anderson Silva was injured with his ribs. Yet, what's even more shocking, wasn't too shocking, but it was more surprising to me, was that he was caught with steroids in his system. And wow, you know, and yet he still lost to Anderson Silva, if anything. And now he's been caught, but obviously somebody had to have known that he had juice in his system, basically. So what I'm telling you now is that I think we really need to have a discussion regarding steroids in MMA. Because now, you know, over the years we've had Stephan Bonner was caught with steroids, and he's lost endorsements, and got suspended by the athletic commissions about this. And then now, and then also now we got Chael Sonnen, and I'm sure there's still some other people now who have been doing steroids. Now there have been plenty of fighters who are coming out as of late saying that there's MMA fighters who are on steroids. Like Nate Diaz, for instance, has said that in one of the blog videos and interviews that he's known there's plenty of fighters, even though he didn't say the names. But of course, now regarding Nate Diaz, I just feel that there's an ulterior motive with it, because even though, yes, he may be speaking the truth about it, the fact of the matter is he himself was also suspended by the Nevada Athletic Commissions at one point regarding his involvement with the Nashville Brawl, along with his brother Nick, Jake Shields, and Gilbert Mendez in StrikeForce, ganging up like a bunch of thugs towards Jason Mayhem Miller. And when he challenged Jake Shields to a title match, at StrikeForce. So there's an ulterior motive there. There's much other fighters who are actually saying the same thing now, who are saying that there's plenty of other fighters doing MMA. But what really intrigued me most of all, though, was not what Nate said or anybody else said, but what Ken Shamrock said. Now, but we all know Ken Shamrock was caught a year ago with steroid use. After he was supposed to fight, after he fought, he was actually supposed to fight Kimbo Slice, but he got himself injured on that. Then after he beat up his opponent, but I can't remember the name of it right now at the moment, he was caught with steroids afterwards. But then later on, when they interviewed him, he actually stated that there's plenty of fighters using steroids, and the management of different organizations, from the athletic commissions and even MMA organizations, know about this. They know about the fighters using steroids, but like anybody else, they have their favorites. In other words, what he was saying, according to my understanding of what he said, and to my own interpretation, was the fact that if these MMA organization management don't like you, then they're going to find a way to target you for some reason, and then they're going to bust you for steroids if you have steroids in your system. But if they do like you, they're going to do whatever it takes to protect you, to cover up for you, and everything like that. And now when Ken Shamrock said that, even though he was caught with steroids, I'm like, wait a minute, something's got to be up with this. Why is he saying this if it wasn't the truth? If it wasn't the truth, why is he saying that? And just because, sure, yes, Ken Shamrock was caught and was found guilty of steroid uses and so forth, does not necessarily mean what he said had any validation whatsoever. In other words, what he said was not. In other words, what he could have said doesn't mean it wasn't right. It wasn't the truth. And if there are anybody within the athletic commissions who are covering up or who do know about this, then something should be done. But what can be done? That's one of the key things I would like to have the discussion and want to get this thing started with you and the others in regards to steroid uses in MMA. I mean, a lot of people are saying, I have anabolic steroids because I was injured, I want to get healed fast. But of course, there are other people like Chael Sonnen, which I think he's such an asshole as he is, wanted to have an unfair advantage against Anderson Silva. No wonder he was so cocky when he got into that fight. He knew him damn self he could not really beat Anderson Silva in his heart. And fighters who do steroids half the time, I wonder what the hell they're thinking. I mean, like, they will not get caught, but like I said, perhaps, like, and also like Josh Barnett was, as of recently, was caught with steroids. I mean, Josh Barnett, ooh. I'm telling you, man, like I said, I really feel that this is the kind of discussion that needs to really bring out, and I know it's going to be heated, I know it's controversial, but it doesn't do any good to run away from things that are controversial sometimes. Sometimes we have to just face up to it and figure out what needs to be done, and why we as fans, what we can do to see if the steroids could be at least eradicated or so. I mean, I remember when Jose Conseco brought up this subject of steroids with his book in baseball. Hell, I mean, he had death threats, he had all kinds of stuff that happened to him. But there was a lot of enlightenment that happened afterwards, after he stepped on people's toes. And on top of that, I mean, MMA is just starting to, mixed martial arts, UFC, are all starting to become mainstream now, mainstream sports. Even starting to, and within the next few years, could surpass even boxing. And we don't want to bring the stuff down. I mean, the steroids, so much use of steroids and scandal and stuff can only be so much negativity that's going to bring the sport down if we're not very careful, if we're not watchful about it. And if the fighters are not watchful, or if the organization management are not watchful about the steroids. Now, Dana White is doing a pretty good job in keeping, steroids in line and so forth, but still, I'm starting to wonder, does he know all there is to know about all the fighters that could be juicing, perhaps? I mean, and that's just it. I mean, I remember many politicians like Senator John McCain of Arizona wanted to ban mixed martial arts many years ago. And many politicians in the U.S. wanted to ban mixed martial arts many years ago. Do we really need to go back to that era where mixed martial arts was basically illegal? Like, almost like people perceive us as cockfighting, a bunch of MMA fighters, a bunch of morons and everything. And a lot of them, these fighters are very intelligent and very world-class athletes. I mean, we cannot go back down to this kind of stuff. That's why it's very imperative now to get this thing solved as quickly as possible. I mean, who do we talk to? Do we talk to Congress? Do we talk to MMA organizations? Who do we talk to? I think we should talk about this amongst ourselves before we go out and start talking to everyone else about the steroids used in MMA. So that's why I feel this needs to be. And like I said, Carson, this message is for you, so you can bring this up in your group. And if you have any questions or comments, you're more than welcome to come talk to me, comment to me, or email me, or contact me in any way, shape, or form. You can just go to my YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, Ehab Touch from Yahoo, and you can either contact myself or Rainbow. That's about it. And like I said before, now that I send this out to you, hopefully this discussion will happen as soon as we can, so we can all start to really get our brains together and how we can solve this problem within this great sport that we love. So, all right then, in any event, I'll talk to you later, and maybe one day we may meet. Who knows? Things could always happen a certain way. Healing. It is all that is.